Bienvenue dans le deuxième podcast de la journée. Je suis énervé, hein. Vous n'en avez aucune idée. Bienvenue dans le deuxième podcast de la journée, les enfants, bienvenue à la clinique. Les enfants, je vais passer 40 minutes, presque, parce que c'est très douloureux, 40 minutes à lire les dernières nominations de Amba au ministère de la Défense. 40 minutes de douleur et de souffrance. 40 minutes où j'ai passé mon temps à pleurer à l'intérieur de moi et à avoir peur pour mon pays. 40 minutes où je suis resté comme ça en me disant, Seigneur Dieu, qu'avons-nous fait au monde? Comment c'est que c'est possible que le peuple camerounais, jusqu'à aujourd'hui, n'a pas encore terminé son processus qui va le faire passer de population à peuple et se libérer de ça? 40 minutes à lire les noms des Cambétis sur les nominations. 40 minutes, Betty Boulou, Betty Boulou, Betty Boulou, Léon, Betty Boulou, que du nord et du sud. 90%, plus de 90% des noms des populations, des personnes qui ont été des dernières nominations des responsables au ministère de la Défense, plus de 90% sont des Cambétis. Boulou, Betty, Boulou, Betty. Non. Ce n'est pas mon pays, ça. Ça, ce n'est pas le Cameroun. Vous n'avez qu'à créer Boulouland. Trouvez Boulouland, centre-sud-land. Vous ne pouvez pas prendre les autres enfants du pays comme des canards sauvages. Non, mes enfants. Parfois, il y a des moments où vous devez vous arrêter. Et pour comprendre, quand je vous dis que nous sommes encore au stade de population, c'est-à-dire des larves, on n'est même pas encore un peuple, parce qu'un peuple ne peut pas supporter ça. On ne peut même pas faire ça un peuple. Un peuple dans sa structuration, 280 ethnies, 10 régions, un peuple ne pouvait pas intégrer dans sa constitution que 90% des nominations, des responsables au ministère de la Défense de tout notre pays. Ça s'appelle un braquage fondamentalement tribaliste de l'État. Je suis fâché. Je suis fâché, mais vous n'avez pas idée. C'est des Cambétis, mais vous êtes horrible. Mais c'est horrible ce que vous faites. Mais c'est du n'importe quoi. Mais vous devez avoir honte. Tous les ressortissants du Nord et du Sud qui ont un peu d'intelligence devraient savoir que ce piège dans lequel Amba vous plongez tout le pays tout entier n'est pas normal. Ce n'est pas normal. J'ai passé 40 minutes de souffrance à débat, au Nambé, au Djiri, au machin de que des chefs. Comme quoi, si quelqu'un se lève un jour pour dire que non, il faut qu'il y ait une proposition pour le Cameroun, ils vont se lever parce que ce qui prépare, c'est la conservation climatique du pouvoir. Et ça doit vous, je vous plaît, les gars. Il faut faire vraiment que quand les chantiers sont importants, vous fonctionnez comme si les chantiers étaient là. On appelle ça le braquage tribal de l'État.
Quand il est compatriote, de vous inviter à une marche de ras-le-bol, une marche au cours de laquelle nous allons exprimer notre désarroi, nous allons pousser le cri de détresse et nous allons leur demander de nous donner notre électricité. Pourquoi je dis notre électricité? Parce que justement, les raisons qu'ils sont en train de donner maintenant.
Oui, Laurent sera là-bas. Qu'on interpelle Laurent Esso. Qu'on interpelle Laurent Esso. Qu'on auditionne Laurent Esso. Laurent Esso est co-commanditaire du crime de Martinez-Zogo. Qu'on l'auditionne, qu'on l'interpelle. Peuple camerounais, levez-vous. Levez-vous. Nous ne pouvons pas avoir un ministre de la Justice qui est soupçonné de crime. Jamais. Un ministre de la Justice soupçonné de crime ne peut pas être en fonction. Il doit démissionner ou il doit être démis de ses fonctions. président de la République. Notre fils, Arsène Salomon Mbami Zoro, connu sous le nom de Martinez Zoro, a été assassiné sauvagement, torturé, sodomisé, mutilé, atrocement et jeté comme un animal en ce lieu. On nous a arraché notre fils de la pire des manières. Le mode opératoire des maquisards qui l'ont tué et de leurs commanditaires indique qu'il s'agit d'un crime impliquant les services de sécurité de l'État. Notre fils, Martinez Zoro, était un soutien fervent de votre régime. Il vous adulait. Il était votre fils, à la limite. Vous étiez son idole. Les populations de la Léquier, par notre voix, demandent que justice lui soit rendue.
La démocratie ne peut pas s'appliquer en Afrique. La démocratie, d'abord, c'est quoi? C'est laisser les populations choisir leurs mandataires pour gérer leur pays et leurs biens. L'ayant compris, les dictateurs africains ont verrouillé au niveau de l'élection pour que l'expression populaire, l'expression du peuple, soit vissée complètement au départ. Et pour que les élections n'aient que ce logiciel qui répète inlassablement à la sortie que c'est la même personne qui est là et qu'on aura à la subir jusqu'à la lie.
Hello, greetings to all and sundry, my dear people of Amazonia, my dear brave warriors of our liberation movement. Who told you that Amazonians are about to surrender? I always like that question. That is why I always appreciate my producer for picking those images and getting those words together into that jingle. It really always touches me so hard because the naysayers regarding our liberation movement are always telling you 1 minute or the other Amazonia will soon surrender. And so I like that defiant question, who told you that Amazonians are about to surrender? Because we will never ever surrender. Because the only time that you will hear about surrender is when we are screaming on the streets of Bongo Square in Boya, that free, free, free at last we are free. So, my dear people of Amazonia, greetings to all and sundry, and happy Sunday to everyone. I know that in a lot of our communities on Ground Zero today, the people were in ghost towns. And so a lot of the churches organize their masses and services on Friday just to make sure that they don't put anyone on harm's way or in harm's way this Sunday. I mean, that was a very delightful thing to do, just to make sure you stay home and stay safe and stay clear of the charade that the Republic of Cameroon calls election on our territory. Of course, we have said over and over that that drama, that piece of charade has got nothing completely to do with us. And so, my people of Amazonia, I want to dove my heart to all of you, to everyone that is on here today, to all those that continue by day and by night to put in their all to ensure that we will have a free country. I know it's not easy, it's a very, very huge sacrifice, but we must continue to walk the talk. And that is why I'm saying that we are taking the pause currently. And when we take the pause, the next thing we do is build the bridges. And when we build bridges is because we want to close the deal. Closing the deal means we want to make sure that we attain our objective, which is independence, as fast as possible. I know when this thing started, some people predicted we were going to be crushed within 2-3 weeks. That did not come to pass. Some predicted within a year or so we'll be completely tired. That too has not come to pass. 6 years on, some say fatigue is taking center stage. That is not true, because we see even those who had left and gone and taken a rest and taken on hiatus are rushing back right into the ring. And then those who on a daily basis tell us, okay, as it stands, this thing is a pipe dream. Even if it will come to pass, it will take 25-30 years like others. And I say again that too is not true. We have people living in our midst who call those of us who sit down here to exchange with you on a daily basis to tell you, listen, folks, we need to fight on. They say we are sellers of illusions. And I say, listen, if you don't dream, like seriously, if you don't dream, then you will never realize anything big. Because you see, all the wonderful things you see today started with dreams. And therefore, it makes all the sense in the world, not only to dream, but to continue to dream. So I want to acknowledge Mini Ernest. Of course, you were the first year, you landed here so quickly. And Julius Tamajon, greetings to you, Comrade Julius Tamajon, and happy Sunday. And happy Sunday to all of you who have already signed in and to those who are still to sign in. And today we have a very, very, very huge package. And I suppose that what you need to do is fasten your seatbelt, settle down, get some water for those who are not drinking anything, and then get something interesting for those who like to, clatter. By the way, if you are on Ground Zero, today is Sunday, tomorrow is Country Sunday, so you really don't have anything to worry. So we take a very brief moment with our mothers of Amba, and after about 15 seconds, we come right back into the show, and then we'll launch things.
De vous inviter à une marche de ras-le-bol. Une marche au cours de laquelle nous allons exprimer notre désarroi, nous allons pousser le cri de détresse. Et nous allons leur demander de nous donner notre électricité. Pourquoi je dis notre électricité? Parce que justement, les raisons qu'ils sont en train de donner maintenant, quand ils veulent bien communiquer, oui, c'est la période des tiers, il n'y a pas d'eau, ainsi de suite. C'est les mêmes raisons qu'ils nous servent depuis des années, autant que vous puissiez vous en souvenir. Sauf qu'entre-temps, que de milliards n'attendent.
Or it happened à la République du Cameroun. That is, it simply fizzled out, died out as if nothing ever happened. These are the people who by day and by night claim that they really want to have a country, that they want to share their country with us, that they want us to live together with them. I recognize that we have made this abundantly clear all the time that, we are two peoples, two separate peoples with no connection, nothing binding us together. We don't look alike. We don't think the same. We don't have the same modus operandi in addressing issues. Can the citizens of the Republic of Cameroon really stand up for what they believe in? Get into the streets and say enough is enough. Oh, no. This was yet another test, which test from all indications failed. Because it's true that I actually was still thinking that Cabral DB show is tomorrow. But if there was something significant with Cabral DB happening in Yaoundé, that news would have met me. Even before I start thinking, but is it going to happen? Is Cabral DB going to succeed in getting his people together? That news would already have reached me. But since I've not heard anything, I can very safely conclude that it happened just like others. When the price hikes just happened, there were some trade unions in the Republic of Cameroon that came up. They even got people from the southern Cameroon, some trade unions from southern Cameroon signing the appendix in the end and claimed we were going to spoil the people. We were giving government this period of time. There will be ghost town on this day. No such thing has ever happened because that is who they are. What is good for them? Sardine and bread. That's all. All you need for them is sardine and bread. No other thing to bother about. That is La République du Cameroon for you. My dear people of Amazon, I've said several times, and I always like to repeat myself as far as those things are concerned, that La République du Cameroon is hell on earth. We never ever had to belong with them in the first place. We didn't have any reason in the world being with them. But because of the machinations of France and the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, we ended up finding ourselves in an unholy union with them. That is why we are actually unevenly yoked. That is why from 1961 on to this day, we have never been able to have that kind of common thought, common approach, common imagination of La République du Cameroon. That is why we have always been the center of agitation. That's why we have always been the center of free thought and free speech. That's why we've always been the center where they say, what will Bamenda say? What will those people say? Are they going to accept this? That's why we have always been who we are. Because we were brought up in another mentality where freedom of expression, where freedom of assembly, we're just fundamental. And therefore, we could never ever find our feet with these people. We come from a culture where the institutions are really independent of each other, where the judiciary is independent of the executive and the legislative independent of the executive and the judiciary, the three arms of government. But you see what's happening in La République du Cameroon? It's a kind of stranglehold. Everything is in the hands of one man. That is not the kind of system we're building, and that's why we really don't fit in there. Let me acknowledge Mr. Nyanka Abenego. Greetings, Mr. Nyanka Abenego. Noel Paul, greetings to you too. More Mother, greetings. Mr. Dinga Peter, greetings. I'm delighted that you all find time to be with me on this platform today so we can share this information. So my people, I was just saying therefore that these are people we should never have found ourselves with them. But today that we have come to this consciousness and we've decided to rise to say enough is enough. We want you out of our land. This is the only thing we should be thinking about. This is the only thing we should be dreaming about, that freedom. Don't let anyone who is low energy, who am I referring to as a low energy people? Those who come to try to discourage you on a daily basis, to tell you that your Amazonia is a pipe dream. Those who come to tell you that that Amazonia is a myth, it will never happen. Those come, let me tell you, They said the same thing to the Southern Sudanese. Today, their country. They said the same thing to the people of Bougainville just a few days ago. The people of Bougainville, they fight the odds, they had their referendum, they're on their path to independence. I mean, the people of Bougainville. A few years ago, they said that to the people of Eritrea. They told them, oh, no. And trust me, don't ever get mixed up. The notion of blacklegism did not start with the Amazonian revolution, no. Because sometimes we try to give this a lot of importance to the point where we say, oh, for this reason, we are failing. Talk to Eritreans. Talk to the people of Eritrea who went through a very tough. They will tell you that in almost every neighborhood there were blacklegs everywhere, and they had to deal with them in order to find their way to secure the freedom of their country. The same thing that the people in East Timor will tell you. With the East Timorians, it was even worse. The people of East Timor found themselves in a situation where they fought twice. They fought the first time they were fighting. They did everything until they were defeated by Indonesia, subdued with the assistance of their elite, who were the same like this CPDM hoodlums that we have in our communities. Yeah, the same like this CPDM hoodlums that we have in our community. That's how the people of East Timor had. And so they went back, they struggled, they prepared themselves, they were thirsty for freedom, just as we are. And when you are thirsty for freedom, you do the unthinkable. They went back, they recalibrated, they took 3 steps behind and took a bigger leap. And when they came back, they became more dangerous and they were able to secure their independence. What happened to the blacklegs is history. You can read it. Don't say you heard it from me. What happened to those elite? The government of Indonesia and the people of Indonesia concluded that they were misled by those so-called elites of East Timor, who should have told them the truth that the majorities of their people no longer wanted anything with Indonesia, and that they should have negotiated early enough to get at least some semblance of being together, even in a loose kind of union. But they did not have that opportunity because they kept being fooled by those elites who claimed that they had the people with them, that they were in control of the situation. In a situation when they are coming in armored cars, today they are organizing some charade called senatorial elections. And all of them, I was told, that from opposition, but someone counted, there were about 38 armored cars carrying them inside. You are sitting in armored cars protected by the military to go and claim that you are being elected to represent the same people you are protecting yourself with a foreign army from. That happened in East Timor. And at the end of the day, like I was saying, the government of Indonesia said, if you, this so-called elite of East Timor, told us the truth, things would not have been this worse. And so what did they do? They gathered all those elite who were now desirous. They wanted to take Indonesian citizenship to run away from their people, to stay there in safety. The Indonesian government said, no, you go with their people. They gathered all of them and went to the border and put them in. The rest of the story, what happened to those elite, I'm not the one to tell it. Go into the history books. You will have every piece of information regarding this there. So therefore, my people, all those blowing the hot air of discouragement, all those blowing the hot air and calling some of us sellers of illusions, giving us names, social media people, looking for numbers, looking for figures, I laugh at them. Because trust me, there is no single effort in this liberation movement that will not advance us, that will not take us closer to where we are headed. Trust me on this. So thank you, Zifri Mba. Greetings. James Ellis for me. Greetings. Uka, greetings. Zifri Mba, I've already acknowledged you. And in fact, I'm extending greetings to all of you who are on right now and are taking part in this live broadcast. So I bring these things because I want us to always bear in mind that the things that we are going through, the issue of blacklegs, sometimes we seem as if we are losing, then we rise back, we seem as if we are winning. Sometimes these things have happened in other liberation movements before ours. So they are not strange. But the logical end has always been that the people have ended getting exactly what they want. And that's why the former U.S. Undersecretary for African Affairs, Tibonagi, said it over and over in tweets that it is just a matter of time and Ambazonia will get exactly what it wants. Ambazonians will get exactly what they want. So let nobody come and tell you that, oh, they're selling you illusions, they're doing this, they're just trying to make you feel. Take it from me. La République du Cameroon is doing worse because they're thinking that they can use some kind of imagery. They can even come and tell you that our brave had no pity, is no more, is gone. They will take the videos that were produced, like this one I'm producing now. You will see those people of my country people, they will take it, cut this part, cut that one, to try to tell a story different from exactly what I'm saying. Because that is all that they believe in. Manipulation, confusion, bringing in all kinds of antics to make people feel that La République du Cameroon still has a future in Ambazonia. I'm standing here, or I'm sitting here, up and I to tell you it's a lie. So thank you very much, Amba Knight, for your for your contribution. You say Che Guevara said to liberate your country, get 10 bullets, 9 for the internal enemies, that's the black legs, and 1 for the enemy, because the enemy never gets into your land without the internal enemies. Of course, now he's quoting Che Guevara. It's not me, but that is what it is. That's exactly what it is. We have so many of them in our midst, but we will overcome. You have to develop a thick skin, that very thick skin necessary to overcome this particular challenge. Yeah, I see Chris Ate. Oh, greetings, my brother Chris Ate. Hope you're doing real good today from the Steel City. So I see one of you asking me, Sakuro, why are you dressed in black today? Thank you for that question. Listen, I'm in black today for a very specific reason. But let me spare you that reason right now. I'll come back to it. Don't go away before you hear that reason, before you know exactly why I'm in black today. We will share it. Now, let's listen to Valsero. When I tell you that La République du Cameroon is hell, you say it is Mba Akuro, one of us. Don't we know him? Is it not Mba Akuro, the son of Late Pamba Prince and the Kingdom in Ashon? Is it not him? Who is he to come and be telling us today that the people that La République du Cameroon is hell? Who is he? Don't we even know where he sleeps? Don't we even know his father? We knew his father now. Don't we even know his sisters? We knew everybody there. Is that not true, Mr. Ignatius Comfort and Mr. Edward Dennis? That's true. They say, we know him. So who is he to be telling us that La République du Cameroon is hell? Now, listen to it from one of them. It's no longer me talking. Let's listen to Valsero.
Bonjour les enfants, c'est Papa. Bienvenue dans le deuxième podcast de la journée. Je suis énervé, hein. Vous n'avez aucune idée. Bienvenue dans le deuxième podcast de la journée, les enfants, bienvenue à la clinique. Les enfants, je vais passer 40 minutes, presque, parce que c'était très douloureux, 40 minutes à lire les dernières nominations de Pouma au ministère de la Défense. 40 minutes de douleur et de souffrance. 40 minutes où j'ai passé mon temps qu'à pleurer à l'intérieur de moi et avoir peur pour mon pays. 40 minutes où je suis resté comme ça en me disant, Seigneur Dieu, qu'avons-nous fait au monde? Comment fait que c'est possible que le peuple camerounais, jusqu'à aujourd'hui, n'a pas encore terminé son processus qui va le faire passer de population à peuple et se libérer de ça? 40 minutes à lire les noms des Kambeti sur les nominations.
Okay, I suppose you can get me. I think I'm getting right now. Yes, so you see, Valsero is very clear here. Valsero is telling us something very interesting. You see, the government of La République du Cameroon appointed top brass of the military a few days ago. And those appointments were being read right up to yesterday, Friday, and yesterday, Saturday on radio. So Valsero is embarrassed that at least 90 to 95% of the names he heard of all those holding the big position of the military are Bulu Ekabeti, Bulu Ekabeti, Bulu Ekabeti. Why are you struggling to force yourself in there when they have reminded you over and over that you don't belong? See, even the other citizens of La République du Cameroon from other parts of that country are realizing to their own detriment that they too don't belong. We are not even supposed to be part of that whole shit. Sorry for that word. We're not supposed to be part of that whole mess. Why are some people in our midst struggling to force us into hell? I'm not saying it. This is Barcelona. Listen to him again.
40 minutes, petit boulot, petit boulot, petit boulot, et on petit boulot. Que du nord et du sud, 90%, plus de 90% des noms des populations, des personnes qui ont été des dernières nominations des responsables au ministère de la Défense, plus de 90% sont des Kambeti. Boulot, petit, boulot, petit. Non. Ce n'est pas mon pays, ça. Ça, c'est pas le Cameroun. Vous n'avez qu'à créer Boulouland. Trouvez Boulouland sans que...
You know, don't forget, I talked to you yesterday about Abraham Lincoln's letter to his son's teacher. And how he was telling his son's teacher to teach his son to learn how to laugh even when he is sad, even when he's worried. That's why I'm laughing. So you hear Barcelona say here, why don't they just create a Betty land? An Ekambulu Betty land, rather than claim that it's country and everything is Bulu, Ekambeti, Bulu, Ekambeti, Bulu, Ekambeti. Listen, my people of Amazonia. Listen, folks, you don't belong. This literature I'm sharing is so that you continue by day and by night to recognize that none of us will ever find our feet in that Republic du Cameroon. God was not so stupid to create us and offer us a beautiful piece of land called Amazonia. So therefore, devote all your effort, be part of this movement. Let's take Vasco again for a few seconds and then we can let him go.
Sud-Land, vous ne pouvez pas prendre les autres enfants du pays comme les canards sauvages. Non, les enfants. Parfois, il y a des moments où vous devez vous arrêter. Et pour comprendre, quand je vous dis que nous sommes encore au stade de population, c'est-à-dire on est des larves, on n'est même pas encore un peuple, parce qu'un peuple ne peut pas supporter ça. On ne peut même pas faire ça un peuple. Un peuple dans sa structuration, 280 ethnies, 10 régions, un peuple ne pouvait pas intégrer dans sa constitution que 90% des nominations.
So folks, let's let Valsero go. Like I said a while ago, you have listened to Valsero, and I'm convinced that having listened to Valsero, something is beginning to get into your head. Because you see, he's talking, that's a country of about 260 something ethnic groups. And they say they have 10 regions. But every appointment, 90% of those appointed are Beti Ekambulu. Beti Ekambulu. And I'd like to challenge our brothers and sisters who are still serving in the army of the Republic du Cameroon, taking part in missions to go and kill their own brothers and sisters. Yeah, in the name of they want to kill the Ambazonia dream, which is their own dream, which is a dream of their children, which is a dream of future generations of, all those that are bringing up today. I want to ask them, how market for appointments? The next minute, some of them will come calling me behind back or screaming in my ears and sharing with me those appointments. You see this? They're cheating on the phones. Look at this. We are how many this year? But I've appointed everybody until, look at, I'm even senior to this one. He's my boss. And I ask, what are you doing there? What are you doing there? The big vultures, the Malian, the Nopiti, the Capo, the Efans, all of these people, they too would have loved to sit where you are sitting and enjoy. But they decided that it makes sense to stand up to the enemy and free homeland. But you stand with the enemy, even share intelligence with the enemy, and you are complaining. Let me be clear here. Some of those so-called elite today are enjoying positions that have been given to them because of this movement, because we rose in 2016. Oh yes, that's how they could create a moribund body called the Bilingualism Commission and give Peter Mafani Musonge food to start appointing Bakwere people. I have nothing against my brothers and sisters from Bakwiri, I have a swipe at Peter Mafani Musonge for being the very dangerous human being he is. So don't get me wrong there. Yeah. That's how they were able to take Atanga Ponja and empty the Ministry of Territorial Administration and give him a cookie vid. That's how they were able to take Nalova Lyonga and say, okay, now be Minister of Secondary Education. None of them had ever dreamt to occupy those positions. That's why today, Callisto's full gentry can even spend a few weeks or months as the acting minister of mines and industry, or of industry and technological development, from being Secretary of State from time immemorial. That's the first time it could be, because the minister has fallen in the battle between the various factions in the Zapobia's government. Yet, they don't recognize what this movement is even doing to them. But I want to assure them, we will get that freedom. We will harvest that freedom by hook or by crook, whether they like it or not. So, my people, if you haven't gone to the portal that I advertised here already, to put your name to attend the AAC, begin by doing so immediately. Don't waste any time. Rush to that portal and do that immediately. We had a very interesting meeting yesterday with our folks from the southeast of the United States of America. And there were a lot of very tough questions. But those tough questions helped us to be able to, come back on the same wavelength. We have to ask ourselves the tough questions, and we have to provide answers. We must communicate among ourselves. Tell ourselves those truths, eyeball to eyeball, lock up ourselves, quarrel, get hard on each other, and then bond back together. Come out of it stronger in order to face the major challenge before us. Which challenge is getting La République du Cameroon out of our territory. And so, talking about some of those people who posture, I'd like you take a look at this picture. These are so-called councillors who are out there somewhere in southern Cameroon today voting and claiming that they are voting senators to go and represent us in Yaoundé. I'm putting these pictures here. I actually named it Misfits. I'm putting this picture here so that we all see. Take note of their faces. And when you take note of their faces, you can begin to find out who they are. Know their names, know their family members, wherever they are. Because those that are writing our history must make sure you have these pictures appear in the history books so that you will know, generations upon generations of Southern Cameroonians to come will know that these are people who were doing everything. That these are people who were doing everything to mortgage our future for bread and sardine. 2 bottles of beer. And sometimes, when they are lucky, a 5,000 francs note. As we read in the papers and on social media, that some of them were asking for 300,000 francs each to vote. These are the people who are busy mortgaging the future of 8 million Southern Cameroonians for bread and sardine. Take note of them. These pictures must stay. They must stay because they have to get into our history books. Here they are. Make no mistake. I took these pictures so that we display them, so that I display them here deliberately. They will stay on here. They will be on YouTube here. If you don't succeed in getting it when you are writing the history of Ambazonia, where perhaps some of us may no longer be there, do a screen capture, get these pictures and put them there. Posterity must have it that this set of people decided at a time that over 80% of our people said we want freedom, we want to live a God-forsaken country, and they decided that they will do everything to force us back into Egypt, to force us back into slavery. There is nothing I can do against any of them. I'm not calling for any violence against any of them. No. I'm simply saying, take note of them. Because history should take note of them. That's what I'm talking about here. History should take note of them. These are the people. At the moment I'm talking, they were just moving around and claiming that they were voting in an election that we have collectively outlawed. If you look at in our territory, in at least 80% of our territory, the people were home. People did not even go to church today because they wanted it to be clear to all and sundry that we are not part of this chariot from La République du Cameroun. And now, my people, talking about elections, I'd like us to listen to Alice
les populations choisir leur mandataire pour gérer leur pays.
Let her talk.
L'ayant compris, les dictateurs africains ils verrouillent au niveau de l'élection.
Now, listen, let me make it clear here so we can understand what is going on. Alice Nkom is talking here about elections. And she's making clear that even all those things that you call elections and all whatnot, democracy, that democracy has no meaning when it comes to Africa. Because normally, democracy is that system that should give the people the possibility to choose those who will manage their affairs, to determine how their communities will be run, to determine their own development priorities and elect those who share the same ideas with them. But African dictators have fine-tuned the whole thing to the effect that they now have made democracy a kind of garbage in, garbage out. Of course, we saw what happened in Nigeria. That's exactly what has been happening in Cameroon over the years. And that's why somebody could stand and boast and say, ne dure pas au pouvoir qui veut, mais dure qui peut. Because that democracy is a charade. It doesn't make any sense at all. And so some of them come and tell us that all the people of Ambazonia should form a political party and then bring their concerns in through elections. Which elections? Listen to Alice Nkom and come back and tell me what you think.
L'expression populaire, l'expression du peuple, soit vissée complètement au départ. Et pour que les élections n'aient qu'un seul logiciel qui répète inlassablement à la sortie que c'est la même personne qui est là et qu'on aura à la subir jusqu'à la lie. Parce que c'est la même personne qui a cassé le mur de la séparation des pouvoirs et qui gère le législatif, l'économique, l'administration, l'exécutif, la justice, et que la personne qui va proclamer les résultats.
So do you hear that? A country where everything is in the hands of one man. The economy, the administration, justice, everything. He is the same man who appoints magistrate. He is the first magistrate. He is the same man who even decides who is the Speaker of the National Assembly, who is the President of the Senate. He is the same man who determines who will be Secretary General at the National Assembly, who will be Secretary General at the Senate. He is the same man who will determine who is a divisional officer in your community. He is the same man who even decides who will be the mayor in your municipality. Because even to elect your mayor, you don't have the powers to. That is not the kind of place I want to be. I know that is not the kind of place you want to be. It's the same man who appoints the chairman of Elekam and appoint all the members of Elekam. So he is both a referee and player, and you expect him to play and lose. He's the same man who appoints the president of the Constitutional Council, who have the power to proclaim the results of the elections, and you expect him to be candidate and lose. Listen, my people of Amazonia, this is not the kind of society that we grew up in. Let's finish with Alice Nkom.
C'est lui qui l'a nommé, c'est un magistrat. Quand il nomme les magistrats, il gère leur carrière, il les met dans l'opulence pour qu'ils puissent dire, bah oui, moi, les résultats, c'est lui qui est élu, hein, et c'est ça qui compte. C'est ça que vous allez retenir à l'extérieur. Et c'est là où, à partir de là, où vous allez, le président de la République française va le féliciter, même si on a la preuve que c'était une mascarade, un simulacre d'élection. Et on va dire, vive la démocratie. Non, ça suffit. On ne sait pas ce que c'est que la démocratie. Si je ne fais que le dire, sans travailler dans ce sens, pour que les élections soient comme on fait ici, on informatise tout, et à 18h, on a le résultat. Au Cameroun, non. Il faut que le sous-préfet vienne récupérer, ou alors un organisme qu'on a mis en place.
So my people, you are hearing from their own voices. From their own voices. From their own lips. They are telling you, La République du Cameroun is hell on earth. La République du Cameroun is not the place to be. Why should we force ourselves to be in hell. Let's allow her the pleasure to finish. She has just 19 seconds to go.
Qui s'appelle l'ELECAM, où tout le monde est un transfuge du parti au pouvoir et nommé par le président de la République. Excusez-moi, vous passez un examen et tous les arbitres c'est vous qui les nommez. Vous croyez que ça peut durer? C'est pas possible.
So, you will see for yourselves, my dear people of Amazonia. The evil people always support each other. That is their chief strength. So, all those vampires, the witches and wizards in the southern Cameroons, those are them that I showed you a while ago, those pictures. Those are the people who are standing shoulder to shoulder with Mr. Paul Biya's regime to make sure they keep us under subjugation. You will have them too, like I said, as blacklegs, as Confucianists, as everything in our community. Even within this struggle, we have quite some of them. They always stand with each other. Evil people always support each other. That is their chief strength. This is a lesson to all of us who really say we are standing for the freedom of our land. This is a lesson to all of us. We must support each other. Because those who are against us, they support each other so strongly they are ready to die for each other. Yes. That's why you see these ones. They muster the courage. They enter the armored cars protected by the military to go face that they are going to vote. They are going to do everything to keep us under subjugation. That's how the evil people operate. They support each other. That's their main strength. But those of us who say we are the forces for good, we end up fighting ourselves and giving the pleasure to the evil ones who want to make sure that we never progress, that we never prosper. This is why, my people of Amazonia, I'm urging each and every one of us, don't become an instrument in the hands of those who want to see us down. And so I want to acknowledge you, Buji Antonius, and thank you for your greetings. You say, hello, Dr. John. Just to remind you, I'm not doctor. I haven't done PhD just yet. I ended at the level of masters, and so so just address me, Comrade John, okay? Just that. And thank you so much, Mr. Buji Antonius. And greetings to all of you who are joining on the live chat. And thank you for your comments and your contributions. They really are a huge help. And I want also to, at this moment, extend, very warm greetings to all our prisoners of war in all the dungeons where they find themselves, in the Menda, in Boya, in Yaoundé, in other parts. In fact, I want to tell you, we continue to stand with you. So greetings to you, Comrade Sisiku Jesus Ayuktabe, greetings to you, Patasan, greetings to you, Mr. Wasson Pam Fongalan, Barrister Eyambe Elias, greetings to you, Shufai, that's Barrister Shufai, Citizen, greetings to you, Pen Terence, greetings to everyone. I'm not able to call the names of all our comrades, our very brave ones who are there, to Benji and all the others who are braving all the odds, Mancho BBC, all of you who are braving all the odds, T. Conrad, to make sure by standing strong, you will show the enemy that despite the hard times that you're facing, you continue to believe in the freedom of Amba land, the strength that you are showing inside there, the determination with which you are standing up, the defiance that you continue to show La République du Cameroon, Comrade Abdul Karim Ali, all of you, trust me, we are watching, we are seeing, we are one spirit with you. We will continue to fight like hell until we attain that freedom. And to all our brave hearts who have gone ahead, who have died fighting for this freedom, trust me, posterity will take note of your bravery, of your contribution, of your sacrifice. And that is the strength that will continue to show. And now I want to answer to that question that someone asked earlier. Mr. Kuro, why are you in black today? Listen, I'm in black today because the people of Mato have not yet risen to the occasion. I'm in black today because the people of Teke, because the people of Kumba, because the people of Mabanda have not yet risen to the occasion to go out there and charge and make sure that they secure the release of the over 180 young men carted away from Mato. Listen, I'm in black because I'm beginning to mourn. I'm beginning to mourn because this is exactly how it happened. When we saw 45 young men on the bikes going to pay last respect to one of theirs, brutally brought down by the thugs from La République du Cameroon. They were taken. Only 16 were finally found. The rest have never been accounted for until this day. La République du Cameroon is after all the young men in our land. What happened in Mato? They are testing the waters. I am in black because I'm angry. I'm in black because I'm worried. I'm in black because I'm frustrated that we are not yet understanding the calamity that La République du Cameroon is preparing to visit on our various communities. We are yet to really take the full measure. And when I say this, I saw someone type, "Oh, Mr. Kuro, why don't you go yourself to the ground there and do what you're asking the people to do?" I will answer you. Our mothers in a corner did not wait for me to come. No, they didn't. They stood up and we all saw the result. Yes, when Bebe Carol Louise was taught in Boya, the people of Boya did not wait for me to come and join them. They stood up. When it happened to Bebe Tato Brandy in Bamenda, Comrade Abdul Karim Ali led the entire community. People stood up to express their frustration and anger. They didn't call me to calm down, to be there with them. Because even where I am, I'm contributing. Every one of us, wherever we are contributing. Don't tell me that I need to come and meet you for you to realize that you need to stand up for the children that you are seeing every day, eating with them, calling them to come split wood for you, calling them to go fetch you water, calling them to go do that. You were seated with them. This is the time for you to rise. Don't tell me that I'm singing a song. Because tomorrow you'll be a funeral dirge. And that's exactly what I don't want to happen. That's why I'm in black today. To tell the people of Mato, the people of Teke, the people of Mabanda, the people of Meme, yes, because we went right down to Mbonge. From Mbonge, they're coming up. Big Kanjo, all of that area. This is the time for you all to rise. And let me say this, and I want to repeat it again. Anytime you hear they are coming to any of our communities for Kale, don't chicken into your rooms. Cut out everyone. Because when you cut out all of you will always outnumber them. And they will escape. They will not live with anybody. But when you allow them to, first of all, capture the brave ones amongst you, take them away before we start saying, how do we do to get them? That's when they go now and create a syndicate and start asking for 500,000 francs for each one for doing nothing. That is who they are. And we have to stand up to them. That is why I'm in black. That's why I'm angry. Because we are slow to action. And I want that action because that action will be our salvation. I have a beautiful story to share with you in just a little bit. So, don't go away. Let's take a little break. So we are going to be talking about Samuel Wazizi in the next few minutes. But before I come to Samuel Wazizi, Let me share this very interesting story with all of us. And this is now on a lighter mood. This is now the lighter mode. Greetings, Zephyrin Ba, Emmanuel Nzi, James Ennis, for me, in fact, greetings to all of you. So let me share with you this interesting story. I've said here a lot of times that Ambazonia is real. Real because this liberation movement is God ordained. Sometimes we say it and people laugh and say, what do you also mean by God ordained? Listen, on March 8th, that's 4 days ago, of Wednesday, on March 8, 2013, in the Amazonian city of Bamenda, because people stayed home, people locked their houses and stayed in their houses, it was ghost towns. The colonial governor, Lele Lafrique, they went to Commercial Avenue, they did the little piece of drama they could do there, but they prepared for a showdown upstation because they consider that upstation is their Victoria in Bamenda, is their Limbe in Bamenda. And so they said this is secure, safe, conquered territory. And so all the wives of the Beti Ekambulu who are upstation and the like public citizens from other parts who are stationed because they're the main one station upstation there in Bamenda, they went to the military playground, the military playground near the military camp upstation where the helicopter usually lands when they have things to do there. They put canopies, several canopies, and they brought a sound system that nobody had heard around there. They were ready for a massive display, huge display. And CRTV cameras and cameras from other local television stations were already mobilized to come there and film and show the ambience that was going on in Bamenda to say Amba and zero. They have failed completely. So these women were all already there, so colorfully dressed, and the music was booming like mad. That's the sound pollution in all of upstation, GRA area, and all that was unimaginable. Getting right up to custom. The music was booming like you've not heard before upstation there in Bamenda. And of course, there were Bikutsi airs. That is that kind of music that was played to irritate, to provoke, to shock. And what they were doing, oh, boom, 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 hey, wolo, kokoshi, hey, come, everything. And then the showdown had to be graced by the colonial governor, Adolphe Lele Lafrique, with his entourage. So, Governor Lele, the colonial governor, Lele Lafrique Adolphe, the Ben Chofo, now his convoy was on the way with his entourage. Over 25 to 30 cars. They were moving to that ground to go there and then, set the whole place ablaze. Something happened. Just when the colonial governor's convoy pulled up and were getting ready to camp down from the cars, rain that has never been seen in Bamenda for at least 2 years came down. Hailstone, boom. That's the first rains of the year. The first rains, I bet you, the rain was serious. I say it was hailstone was falling. The governors, where they could not leave the cars. They sat inside the cars there. The canopies were put there. Some of them were brought down by the winds generated by the rains and all not. Those that were soaked and were running to get places to hide around there and hold on. That rain pounded with hailstone. I mean the sheer timing of the rain and the strength of the hailstone that descended. Oh my goodness. Spoke volumes. It spoke volumes. After close to 45 minutes of heavy pounding and slightly more, when the rain subsided, the music was dead. Because after the rains, no bar of music was heard again. I'm wondering if the rains even, destroyed the sound system or whatsoever. No bar of music was heard again. No airs from that venue. The colonial governor came down from his cars and He was there for less than 10 minutes. They left, and as soon as he left, every other person departed that venue. You could see the women soaked with carrying food and holding bottles of drinks in their armpits as they were all running away. I said, listen, that is mother nature. When I'm laughing like this, even when we are facing a lot of trauma in our communities, I always go back to the letter President Abraham Lincoln wrote to his son's teacher, teach him how to laugh even when there is sadness all over the place. So that is what happened. That is nature. The women, they all escaped because they could not understand. They could not even analyze what happened. They couldn't gauge what was going on. So they would just told themselves everybody should leave this place because the next thing that could happen, maybe it would be thunder. So nobody knows. So they had to depart, people had to escape, people had to just run away. I mean, it was unbearable for them. Again, trust me, since that day, to this day, it has not rained again there. Isn't that amazing? I'm not telling Taylor, call anybody in upstation Bamenda and ask them. They will tell you. I have some pictures that were sent to me, but unfortunately, the person that sent me these pictures stood at a position where if I display those pictures, they can't trace them. And so we're putting some informal in harm's way. That was for me at least to edify me with exactly what happened. So don't sit there and tell yourself that God is not saying something for this liberation movement. Don't sit there and tell yourself that whole just put and making noise all over the place. That no. So I just wanted to share that so that we have that little fun and understand how the God that ordained this liberation movement is fighting for us. It's true, we want him to do more, faster, better, but he does things at his own timing. That's exactly what it is. So let's go now on to Samuel Wazizi. My people of Ambazonia, listen. The issue relating to Samuel Wazizi is something we will never stop talking about until justice is done for Samuel Wazizi. Now we have heard from Zwimanto, and after I heard from Zwimanto, I did not talk about it during my last broadcast elaborately. I just mentioned it because I was still trying to pick up some pieces from information from my own sources too, to try to corroborate with what Zwimanto published. And all those pieces of information have yielded to me that in effect, what Zwimanto published is verified news and given to him by a source that is unimpeachable. That Samuel Wazizi was tortured to death. And his torture was even worse than the one that happened to Martinez Zogo by the people of the DG area. And after he was tortured to the point where he couldn't make it and he passed, they carried him and went and laid his remains, buried him in a demonstration field belonging to the DG area around Fu. Why am I saying this? Because it has to get to that point where the government of La République du Cameroon will have to get these culprits to go and exhume the remains of our own Samuel Wazizi and hand over to his family, even if it's just his skeleton, and hand over to the family so that we all give our dear brother a decent burial. What happened to Samuel Wazizi is what has happened to too many of our folks, too many of them. There is our brother. I don't know why when the issue comes to my head, I forget the gentleman who owned Manasata Whole Foods in Bamenda. Oh, didn't he end as I see? You're right. So you are telling me it is true. It started with hailstones because even downtown. Okay, great. That's a verification. I think Nini Ennis is in Bamenda. So it's confirming about the torrential rain and the hailstone that came down just at that time. I'm sure you couldn't know what was happening off station because you were in there then. So what I'm saying is, what happened to Samuel Wazizi would have happened to our brother who owned Manasata and then owned a Whole Food stuff in Bamenda at one point, and he was a counselor at the Bamenda One Council for the SDF for some time. I've just forgotten his name. He's there in Konegi. But we can all recall the video that we saw the shot. They were in an underground cell, as they said, where they had been seriously tortured after they were picked up from Campbell. And then they successfully got a phone that he shot all of them who were necessary. Each person introduced themselves and gave their names and said who they were and where they came from. And it is because that video was released that they were not killed. That they were finally not tortured to death, because the release of that video generated international uproar, and there were serious calls for those people to be accounted for. That's why they were not killed. Our brother Samuel Wazizi we see here was just not fortunate. He simply was not fortunate enough that someone could identify where he was and the ordeal he was going through. When I look at our brother's face, this handsome gentleman, when I look at his face and I sit down and imagine what he must have gone through right up to the last moment when he gave up the ghost, tears begin to run down my cheeks. And at the same time that the world is screaming and asking for justice for Martinez Zogo, those who claim to be our elite, those who claim to be speaking for us, those who claim that they are our parliamentarians, those who claim they are our mayors, who claim they are our senators, who claim they are in Mr. Paul Biya's government for us, who claim they are our funds, they are quiet. You and I saw the chiefs of the Leke that we usually describe as ragtag chiefs. They usually describe them as, scouts or whatsoever.
Il y a eu également cette réaction assez remarquée des chefs de la Lequier. Ils ont fait une première sortie très forte pour condamner l'assassinat de Martinez Zogo. Et effectivement, ils ont dit que le président devait faire un effort pour s'acheter. Sinon, le corps de Martinez Zogo serait enterré chez lui à Mbomeka dans le caveau familial. Et 2 jours plus tard, ça fait trace. Les mêmes choses ont fait une autre sortie, cette fois pour présenter des excuses des chefs de l'État, estimant que leurs propos avaient dépassé leurs pensées. Alors,
if they could stand just for 1 second out there to say we want justice for Samuel Wazizi, this thing will not happen. We need only 5 funds to stand out there and tell Paul Biya that we want to know what happened to Samuel Wazizi, and we will hear. Listen to what Albert Zonga said concerning the action of those chiefs.
Comment avez-vous jugé ces différentes sorties des chefs de la Lequier?
À ces chefs de la Lequier, je fais allégeance et je me mets à genoux. Enfin, on a trouvé au Cameroun des chefs qui savent à quoi ils servent. Ils sont les guides et les protecteurs de leur population. Si les autres chefs avaient osé faire ça, si les chefs du nord-ouest et du sud-ouest se s'étaient levés une seule fois pour dire au pouvoir, faisons la paix, que font nos enfants en prison, que font ceci, on n'en serait pas là.
Et qu'est-ce que vous faites de leur rétropédalage?
J'y arrive.
Oui.
J'y arrive, monsieur. Quand on m'a arrêté ici, dans cette maison, avec une personne...
So, did you hear Abel Zonga? Abel Zonga is there clear, categorical. He hails the chiefs of the Leke. He says even they were forced sometime after to walk back their own words. But he hails them because that their single action was too strong. And this Abel Zonga spitting in the eyes of our so-called revered, venerated, and feared funds. This Abel Zonga spitting in their eyes that if only 3, 4, or 5 of those funds stood up and told Mr. Paul Biya, what are our children doing in prison? Release our children. Why are you fighting us? Why are you burning down our villages? Let's sit down to the table to negotiate, to talk peace and examine the root causes of this situation. If only 3, 4, or 5 of them stood up and said, we want to get to the root of what happened to Samuel Wazizi, we will not be here today. Royal beggars. I learned that the almighty Fon Msop was flown again by helicopter into Bui so that he should go and vote for senatorial elections. The fun of so. That is a man that used to refer to as the lion. But look at him today. He has to be smuggled into his own community where he is fun by a foreign army. For him to vote, they will secure, and after they fly, they smuggle him back out. What a disgrace. What a shame. What a disappointment. Listen, sometimes I want to be angry at those who say, when this liberation movement will come to its conclusion, we may have to rethink this whole issue of these traditional institutions. Because those funds today have proven to us to be not only a distraction, but to be a conduit through whom the enemy is passing. The majority of them, though, because there are few of them who are in their villages. Those funds who are still in their villages until today as we are talking and ruling their people, those are the ones who have stood with their people. But we want them to do more than just living their villages with their people. We want them to stand up for their people. Stand up for your people. Because you are funds. You have been empowered by your community. You have the voice, you can stand and talk. And you know that your people are with you and they will stand with you. However, also misguided ones, led by the son of Adam from Bambi, who sat in Babeda were begging for money to go and pour curses on their own children, fighting to liberate their land. What a shame. What a veritable shame. We'll be rounding up this show in a few minutes, but I want to make this solemn announcement here. That brother of ours, who heeded to my call for contributions to secure the communications of our people on ground zero, and offered that he was going to buy one of those satellite phones all by himself. He moved from words and promises to action yesterday and did call me, and we worked together online and placed an order for the phone, and he paid. It went from being $1,400 to $1,578. He alone, he has ordered that phone. I want to congratulate this our brother. May the good Lord replenish your sources more and more. And he did this in tandem with his wife. He sat side by side with his wife, and she was actually the one reading the credit card information to be input in the areas. She was conscious of this expenditure. She knew about this expenditure. She was sensitized about it. She validated it. She approved it. She supported it. She even urged him on. This is what we expect in Ambazonia. We have to stand for one another. There are people out there calling here and there and discouraging others. Don't contribute to that drive. My dear brothers and sisters of Amazonia, we will win by standing together. That drive is still open because we have not yet attained our goal. If you want to contribute today, use Amba Relief 2018 at gmail.com. Amba Relief is AMBARELIEF 2018 at gmail.com. If you are in the United States of America, use that for Zelle. If you are out of the United States of America, use that for PayPal. Let your contribution come in. My people of Ambazonia, it is only by standing with one another that we will be able to overcome. And so, to wrap up our show, I left this very interesting one for the end. You see, I laugh, but let's take a little break with our mothers, having some fun among themselves. Let's give them 30 seconds and then I'll come and bring this very teasy one and then we wrap it for the day. Noel Paul, please, don't shock me. Please, Noel Paul, don't break my lips here. I don't want to believe that what you're saying is true. Because I see Noel Paul, you're telling me, sir, let me shock you. The mode of operation now is that La République du Cameroon goes around to install their own chiefs. Is that true? Has it happened in your community? If that's happened in your community, meet me here during our next broadcast on Thursday. Share that piece of information with me. I'll only be here on Tuesday. Yes, I'll be here on Tuesday. Tuesday will be 9 p.m. Amba time. Yeah, I'll be here on Tuesday at 9 p.m. Amba time. If it has happened in your community, share with me. Oh, I'm hearing that the example of Koba village. So they now go around, So they now go around and install their own chiefs. So that's what happening in the southern zone. Maybe they're looking for manner too of sneaking that through into the northern zone. This is the more reason we really must do everything to get these people out of our land. Trust me on that. And so, my people, when I tell this our brothers, that be careful, La République du Cameroon, don't join them. Don't go doing things with them. You say, oh, it is in the name of sports. It's in the name of football. Let's go there and play with them. Let's go and do this. See what is happening here. They pepper you every day, but you don't learn. Yeah. This is our brother, Neba Joshua. He is the president of the Bafut Rangers. And this is a comment he made. Samuel Eto'o nous manque de respect. Mais il veut qu'on le respecte. Ça ne se fait pas. On sait tous qu'il n'y a pas d'argent à la fédération. In short, he is frustrated and angry that a lot of things are not going on fine with the football because there is no money at FECAFO, the Cameroon Football Federation. And he said, and Samuel Eto'o has refused to speak the truth to them. And for that reason, he believes that Samuel Eto'o is lacking respect for them, is disrespecting them. And so, Neba Joshua was talking so freely because, coming from from Southern Cameroon's extraction, he still has that freedom of spirit, that freedom of mind. He still thinks of that freedom of expression. But he forgets that he is unevenly yoked with people where there is no such freedom. It does not exist. It does not. That is why we tell you, don't go there. But you keep going there. Get yourself humiliated. Getting yourself, destroyed. Getting yourself insulted. And getting yourself belittled. And you come and sit behind and you are crying. We say, don't go there. You wouldn't hear. Just look at, after this statement, this is exactly what happened to him. Oh yes. The Association des Clubs d'Élite du Cameroun. That is fellow presidents of football clubs in Cameroon, because the Bafut Rangers is in Elite 1, or whether it's Elite 2. So the members of the association came together not to say what our brother said is true. Samuel Eto'o should tell us the exact situation of what is happening in the usual style. Samuel Eto'o called them. Maybe each one was leaving, he said 100,000, 50,000, 30,000, 150,000. And I said, teach him a lesson. And so the people gathered. And this decision that you are seeing here, in this decision, they are telling Mr. Neba Joshua that you went too far. By going too far, you have violated all the statutes, all the texts of the association. So for that reason, Mr. Neba Joshua has been suspended until further notice from the Association des Clubs d'Élite du Cameroun. Suspended until further notice, just for criticizing Samuel Eto'o. In La République du Cameroun, they don't criticize so. The people, they invite the people, don't criticize anybody. No. There is no freedom of expression. Because there will never be freedom after expression. Listen to it very well. If you claim there's freedom of expression, fine, enjoy it. But there will be no freedom after expression. This is the autocratic, horrible community we are telling people, get out from. And some are still telling us that, oh no, we are. This is it. And the people say that they even reserve the right to sue Mr. Neba Joshua for criticizing their God, Samuel Eto'o. Oh yes. When you invite when you carry ant-infested firewood into your house, I've always said so, don't ever dare complain when you see lizards visiting you. That's also what I've always said. He who carries ant-infested firewood into the house will receive the visit of lizards. So don't complain when the lizards come visiting. Who told them? Don't join them. You keep going there to give the semblance that we are one people, when you know in your heart of hearts that we are not. My people of Amazonia, I want to thank all and some. All of you who made it a point of duty to be part of this broadcast today, Mr. Emmanuel Z. All of you, I want to thank all of you for being part of this broadcast today. Until we meet again on Tuesday, have a nice time. But please, make sure to sell the message about the AAC. Make sure to call your neighbor, call your family member, call your friends and tell them to contribute to this drive that is on to secure the communications of our people. As soon as the package that our brother ordered gets here, I will show everyone so that you know, because that is what transparency also means. So thank you everyone. Share this video as much as you can. I know there are still some people who are not getting the notifications because, like I said earlier, La République du Cameroon is fighting this platform with all its might, making sure too often when you have personalized, they do everything to disengage it so that you don't get the alert when I'm on or when we are, in communion. So until we meet again on Tuesday, have a nice time. To God be the glory.